Thanks for downloading another episode of The Ugly Truth. Or if it's your first time, welcome. You are now an honorary UG, or Hug as we like to say. We really appreciate you listening and supporting the show through our Amazon and Avon links at uglytruth.com. And now, without further ado, The Ugly Truth. It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
I have sympathy, I have empathy, I care for humans, but I hate most people.
And Stephanie.
My anus is tight as a drum.
Uncensored as always, it's time for The Ugly Truth.
Hello, everyone. It's The Ugly Truth. We sound a little different because we're sharing a mic, but it's episode 150. This is such a huge deal. Sitting in with me, Ugh! Ugh! It's my sister Stephanie, my toxic twin. Hello. Sitting in.
Hello.
Sitting in for our Paula, who is infirmed, the sickest girl in the world.
True that.
Checked out for the week, but that's okay.
It's fine by me.
She's fighting the scourge at home, and so Stephanie gets off work and she comes over to sit in. We're going to drink a little wine, do a little talking, and we're going to speak about many things. So welcome to the show again.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. So happy to be here.
You actually have fans, believe it or not.
Oh, right.
You do. You do. You do.
My other personalities.
Your other voices, yes.
Right?
Okay, so...
Linda.
That's right. We were making fun. What was that? What were we doing that for on Facebook?
We were talking about because Olivia was pretending that she was deaf.
That's right. Paula's daughter, Olivia, is ill, and she has fluid in her ears.
That's just the funniest thing
And
ever.
she said that the doctor said she might not have very good hearing, and so she decided to run with it, which makes me completely hysterical.
So like us. Yes.
Very much so. And so she's like, you guys, I just want you to know, like, what did she say?
So Paula was like, Olivia. She's like, what? I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. I've lost my hearing.
I've lost my hearing. Remember, I'm deaf.
I can't talk to you anymore.
And you said, well, I can show her my Helen Keller.
Yes, because I had a stellar Helen Keller as a young child, and then I forgot that you used to impersonate Linda, the deaf chick, on Sesame Street.
Yes, please don't judge us. We're horrible
in the
people.
early 80s. What did you used to do? Did you do the sun? Have you ever heard my Dick Clark? No?
I don't think so.
The post-stroke Dick Clark?
Oh, you were.
Happy New Year, everyone! It's Dick Clark Rocky!
You have to see her face. Because it goes with the voice, but that was funny.
You'll never see it.
Oh,
I don't like to be
Lord.
seen.
That was funny.
So welcome to the show, everybody, and welcome Stephanie. And so we're just going to get right into it because she's got to get home and take care of her children, or her child, I should say.
No, children. We forget.
Oh, Jerry's a child.
Yes.
Your large child.
My large child.
Yes, it's true. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. Last week, I was mentioning to Paula that our mother went to Florida to visit her sisters.
Yes.
And I got a phone call from her this morning. And it was nice because I had texted her, emailed her, left a voicemail. So I finally got a phone call at 8 o'clock this morning, of course, because she's in Florida. And I'm like, well, good morning. How are you, Mother? And she's like, oh, yes, it is morning where you are. And I'm like, oh, you've adjusted to the time already?
She's been there a whole 4 days.
She was there for, a whopping 72 hours, and all of a sudden she's a Floridian,
yes.
apparently. So I said, what's going on? She goes, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And she's telling me about what's going on. And she's like, oh, I want you to share a story with your sisters. And I said, okay, what's going on? And she said, well, I know how much you guys don't like flying. And I said, no, we don't. We're not very good flyers. None of us are, actually.
No,
and I don't know.
Because we all have anxiety issues.
We do.
So.
Well, actually, I think it's control issues. I think that's why we don't like flying, because we have no control. So she said, I had a connecting flight from Sacramento to Phoenix. And then she went Phoenix to, I think, Atlanta to Florida. It was some ridiculous connecting.
Yeah, that is a crap
it was
flight.
a crappy. But Sacramento to Phoenix is a breeze.
It's nothing, yeah.
She said, I want it on record. I will never fly American Airlines again.
Oh.
And I said, all right, go on. So the flight was going fine. And she said, it was about 30 minutes to landing. And I said, oh, we should be descending soon. She looked at her watch and she had the window seat. Seat in between was empty. And then she had a woman on the aisle.
Sweet. I like that.
And she goes, everything is great. And all of a sudden we go, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Oh, God.
I have to let you know, the hydraulics is no longer working.
OMG. Shut the front door.
Seriously.
Sioux City, Iowa. That's all I'm thinking of.
That's right. And so he goes, the flight attendants will be going through collecting all of your items. You will be bracing for impact.
I'm dying.
Stephanie.
I'm like,
you.
all right, I'm making
I'm sweating already.
Oh my God. Oh my, sorry.
So I'm sitting here going, okay, she's talking to me.
She's
so
alive.
It happened. She made it. So
didn't see it on the news.
Tell me the story. Yeah. Well, I immediately, after we hung up, I'm like, I should Google this and find out. But I think this happens a lot. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
So the hydraulic system has failed.
That is literally how they fly the whole airplane.
Basically.
Everything is a hydraulic.
Everything. Yes. And so he said, you're going to brace. So the flight attendants will be coming through collecting all of your items. We are going to be collecting them in bags. When we land safely, with security, they will give you your items back. But in the meantime, we're collecting everything. Nothing can be loose.
Right.
And so...
That kills people. It
yes,
actually does. Yeah.
I believe it. And so
fly around, they hit you
I'm
in the
sitting
head.
there with my eyes like saucers, listening to my mother at 8 o'clock in the morning telling me about this
my
horrific
God.
story. And I said, I can't believe you waited 3 days to tell me this story.
Right?
And she said, well, I was very calm, actually. She said, what was funny is that the lady next to me said, well, how are we supposed to get like our stuff back, our wallets and our things back? Because she clearly, it wasn't registering to her that this was very serious.
You can die, lady.
And the lady goes, you know what? You have 90 seconds to get off the plane when we land, so you really don't need to be concerned about it right now. Right now, it's just your body that you need to be worried about. And she's like, well, fuck that. She took her ID and all her cash and shoved it in her bra.
I might do that just so they could identify my body if I was a burned corpse or
I
something.
told Mom, I said, you know what I would do? I've always been told this, is to write your name and social or your phone number on your arm.
Yeah.
And that way your family can at least have your arm.
Right.
Should you completely implode on impact.
Right. Totally.
She said, I didn't think it was a bad idea, but I gave all my stuff. And, you know, Mom is acting all cool as a cucumber, you know, telling me the story. And she said, you know, I really wasn't super anxious at that time because I'm like, well, I mean, what does that mean? I go, well, I know what that means, and that would be terrifying.
How does she not know what that means?
Well, I mean, I don't think the severity of it, because there was no weird noises, there was no panic ensuing, but the pilot went on and said the flight attendants are going to tell you how to brace for impact. They're going to tell you where the emergency exits are. If we have a rough landing, the emergency doors will open and you will slide off and run as far away from the plane as you can. And I'm sitting here going, well, I can tell you this, that if your daughters were on that plane, there would be a scene. That's all I can tell you.
Say?
That's all I can say.
I would be crying hysterically.
I said that. I go,
I would
well,
absolutely not be able to control
I said,
it.
Mother, were you crying? She goes, no, I wasn't crying. I go, well, I'd be bawling.
With anybody?
No, everybody was like deathly quiet. It was like a cemetery in there, literally.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that like before planes crash, it's so super quiet.
Calm because everybody's praying.
Contemplating like, okay, we're about to die. Let me digest this really quick.
Exactly. So she said, and I was actually getting a bit like,
yeah,
you know, but she said, she's like, she goes, you know, I started to text Paul and I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And she put the phone away.
Because she didn't want to freak him out.
She didn't want to freak him out. And she said, so then we were getting close to the airport and it was time to brace. So we all had to bend over and take the impact thing. She goes, you know what really made me mad though, is one of the flight attendants got panicked.
She freaked out.
She freaked out and she had to read off of a piece of paper what to tell everybody.
Because she was like losing
She lost it. And she's like, so Mom's just like, you know what, forget you. She goes, I grabbed the pamphlet from the back of the thing and I read everything. And she goes, and then I looked and I said, I can climb over these chairs. And there was a flight attendant riding along to get to Phoenix.
Yeah.
She actually kicked a dude out to get to the emergency exit.
Oh, good.
And she's like, I knew exactly which exit I was going to. And I said, you know, the reality is if a plane is going to crash on landing, you're either dead or you're gonna make it,
or you're gonna live.
So she knew exactly where she was going, and I said,
"For my life, when this is over, I know where to go."
That's the exit. She had her plan, and I said, and really, that's all you need.
Yeah, and that's the best thing about flying alone. She didn't have to worry about anyone but herself.
And she said, she goes, God, I'm gonna try not to cry. She goes, the last thought I had before we made impact was, I'm really glad my daughters aren't with me.
Oh.
And I was like, Mother, I go, why? She goes, because you guys would be hysterical. I go, oh, not because we would die.
But you know what? No.
Because we would be upset.
But Mom's not afraid to die, and she never has been.
She isn't.
She's not afraid to die.
Although I said, God, Mom, you're really brave. And she said, yeah, put me on a ledge and you'll see white fear.
Well, right.
I said,
she can't even look out a building.
All right.
But the thing is like with Mother, that's why I said I think being alone in that situation is probably the best, because if she had her children with her, even though we're older, that's when you start to freak out because you're worried about them dying.
Right.
not being able to save them or not being able to help them. And I know
Right.
when I have flown with my children,
Oh my God.
that is literally the worst part.
Yes.
Is when I flew with Lauren in a blizzard leaving
I remember
Chicago.
that. I remember that.
She was
Oh
8
my
months
God.
old, and I was screaming. I was like, and the flight attendants like came to me and they're like, "You're really causing people to panic. You've got to stop this."
You're
and I was
like,
"I can't. We're gonna die!" And they were like, "Oh, sorry." And so they was a non-service flight, so we didn't get drinks or anything. But she dug through the thing and found 2 things of Bailey's.
She found you alcohol.
She was like, "That was all we have."
Oh,
and
thank
I'm
God.
Like, go, go, go.
Oh, good. I'm sure that helped a little.
It did help a little.
It was
helped a
funny.
lot.
So she said, so we braced for impact, and she goes, I said a prayer. I said I was thankful for my family and that I was thankful to be a Christian. And she's like, and she goes, and it became unnerving, actually, the closer we got, because the pilots were continually trying to get the hydraulic system to work. So there was a lot of noise. And there was a really violent knocking. And the
was obviously
plane,
whatever was wrong.
the plane was shaking. She goes, I thought the thing was going to fall apart.
Because it's wanting to stall.
Yes. And so then what was worse is it was like a good 5 minutes into dissension. She goes,
like forever.
There was a computer voice saying, break, break, break.
God, oh God.
Over and over and over and over.
Why,
And
why did they hear that? Was it part of...
it was a full on emergency. And so they were preparing everybody for this impact. And I said, I probably would have lost consciousness.
I may have passed out.
I think I would have passed out from fear.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty intense.
Oh, I would have died.
So she goes, and then we landed. And she goes, and I looked out because I had a window seat, and there were the biggest fire trucks I've ever seen in my life, 1 million ambulances. And the pilot did tell them before they started going through this whole horrific scene that be prepared. When we land, you will see a ton of emergency vehicles. They may have to tow us into the gate, but you will get to be able to deplane. If you have to deplane, you must slide off and just run. Don't wait around.
Because it can be a fire.
Right. And so I said, good.
Oh my God.
God, mother. And she goes, yeah. She goes, then we deplaned and everything was great. And
So did they deplane normally? Or
Yeah.
did they have to go to...
Nope, they didn't even get towed in. The pilot was really, really good.
Thank the
And
Lord for
he
that.
pulled right up to the gate. He said, well, she said, actually, they had us land on the furthest runway away
didn't
from the
wipe
thing.
out the airport?
I go, yeah, so you wouldn't explode all the passerbys who happened to see this scene going on.
Well, not to mention the fact that if they missed the runway...
Exactly.
Or if they did stall before they landed...
or if
at
they
least
crashed.
didn't take out...
Yeah, and so I said, oh, awesome. So, let them see the fiery display. I get it. I get it.
What if you were waiting at the airport and you died because some other fool ran
Right.
into the airport? You're
Of
like,
course.
Are you kidding me?
It's like a
Not even on the
movie.
plane.
I know, it's like a bad movie.
That would happen to me.
So she said, yeah, everything was great. And then I went on with my way. She goes, but I'll never fly American again. So Mom told me, she goes, well, anyway, she goes, I just wanted to give you that story. You could share it with your
Thank
sisters.
you.
I'm like, well, thanks, Mother.
Oh my God, it's literally my worst nightmare.
I told her that. I said, that is literally the reason why I drink before I go on an airplane. So if I die, at
I'm
least
totally intoxicated.
At least I can have
the bad
some
thing,
kind
though,
of...
transversely, though, now that you say that, I think about it. What if I was totally shit-faced like I usually am?
The alcohol burns.
And I live.
Oh, Jesus.
No, and then I'm so disoriented and wasted that I can't find my way out. And they're like, well, she died because she was drunk.
No.
Lesson learned, people.
You know
Don't
what?
do that.
I've been in scenarios where I've been hammered and I sober up real damn
Right.
fast.
No, you're right. And I'm not ever to the point to where I'm like ridiculous.
I you know what? They don't even let super drunk people on planes anymore. I saw a woman not. Well,
you
if
can
you
hide
can
it.
if you can hide it.
I've done it.
I have too. However, I saw a woman. She was so intoxicated they would not allow her to board, and she was so hostile.
Hey,
though.
I watched that show that they used to have. Remember Southwest used to have that show? It was called like Airport or something like that. I
Yes,
can't remember.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's awesome. Why don't they make those reality shows? Because those are funny.
Those are good shows. Do you watch The People's Couch?
No.
Stephanie,
I know.
why am I
it's
the only
funny
one?
Because you know why? It annoys me.
Really?
It annoys me that that you must live in LA to be on that show.
Well, that is annoying.
That's bullshit.
Yes.
Because then you're only getting LA perspective and they're like their own country down there.
Well, and let me tell you something else. I would say at least 60% of the people that are on that show are in the entertainment industry. Like the gays.
yeah, it's just too...
Have you seen the gays on there? The 3 gay men?
Maybe.
Okay. First of all,
I'm not watching it enough to...
you would love them, number one.
I'm sure I would.
And I'm going to tell you why. So I was watching The People's Couch the other night. Daryl, because he works such long hours and he leaves so early, sometimes he just conks out by 10. I mean, it's just...
He doesn't he get up at like 4 a.m?
No, not always. So once a week he gets up that early, but mostly he's up and out the door by like 5:45, which is just ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not even out of bed at that hour. Yeah,
no.
I have a regular
No,
job too.
I don't even know how he does it, but he's a morning person, so it works for him.
Yeah.
I am not.
Right.
I'm an evening person, so I watch all the late shows and everything. So People's Couch was on, and they were watching. Do you watch Scandal?
No.
Okay, I don't either, but Paula does. So Scandal was on, and there was a scene they were showing, this sex scene, and this guy that she used to have sex with came back after like 6 months or something. Well, he went down on her.
Ooh.
On the show, and they don't show it.
That's a
but
Netflix show, is it not?
No.
Oh, it's not. It's on regular TV.
I think it's on like ABC or something.
Hardcore.
Yeah, but it's late. So anyway, it's on. So he starts going south, and one of the gay guy goes, "Oh, he's gonna go kiss her south mouth," and I'm all. I have never heard that term.
Well, they are lips.
I have a vagina, and I have never heard of south mouth. Never. Have you?
No.
I was like shocked. I said, you know what? You can learn so much from the gay men.
Right?
You can learn so
can.
much. I was so I said, well, I need to note this.
When you break out of your social circles and you become friends with other people, like I have at work.
Yes.
It is. I have been enlightened on so many phrases and
Like
things.
what? Give me a phrase that you can you think of something right
not
now?
on the fly. I'll try to think of something
Okay.
before though. But
All
yeah,
right.
like I seriously. Okay, how about this one?
Oh God. Okay.
Now, being as white as we are,
We're not that white, actually, but go ahead.
I think I'm pretty white.
You're not.
Well, considering I work in an extremely diverse atmosphere.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
For me, I feel very white in comparison.
I feel
to some
vanilla
other
all the
pieces.
time.
Right,
Yes.
right. And yeah, maybe white's not the right. It's probably not the politically correct term.
No, you can say
There's
white.
people out there going, "We are not white.
No, we're
Anglo-Saxon."
Oh, whatever. Yeah, if this is the
Caucasian.
the 1600s. We are so well, what's interesting is that I always thought I was a super white girl.
Right.
Until I realized how white I wasn't.
Well,
we're very Latin and you just
true.
don't realize.
Well, that's good.
You don't realize how Latin you are until you see
Okay, so
someone
do you
who's
say
super
this?
white.
Deuces.
No, what's that mean?
And then put 2 fingers out.
What is that
Deuces,
for? Like,
I'm out.
no, is that a
People say
white
that-
thing?
No.
Is it a black thing?
I believe it's a Latin thing because the one
Latin?
friend that I have,
Deuces?
well, but
They
see,
don't
the
say
thing-
doses. Okay, I would be like doses, bitches.
That would be funny.
That would be fun. Do that next week. It's like, you guys, I forgot. Did I not tell you I'm half Mexican? Doses, bitches. Dose, bitch.
Well, I sit in a unit
be
where
so
everybody
funny.
is Hispanic except for me and one other person.
You're just not pure Hispanic.
no, but they know what I am. I've told
Sure.
them, and
You're- yeah.
right. And so anyway, but I think it's a combination of their heritage plus whoever they're married to, whoever's in their
Interesting.
family. So they mix it up. It's just
Interesting.
funny. Well, the other day my girlfriend broke her nail at work, and she was
Oh.
like, "Look at me," and I'm like, "I see you. Or when are you going to get that fixed? It's been 2 days." She's like, "I'm straight hood." And so I laughed. Well, then a couple days later, I was saying something about something, and I'm like, "Oh, look at my nails. I need to feel so bad." I go, "What did you call it? I'm hood." I go, "I'm hood."
God.
At the moment.
Oh my God.
She just started
Whatever,
laughing.
mother. God, you're so mom right now.
She started laughing. She's like,
like,
"Yeah,
okay,
girl,
white
you're
girl." Mm-hmm.
hood." Yeah, it was so funny. So I'm like, "Well, I don't know what that means, but I'm hood today."
On the People's Couch, there's this black couple, and they're super funny. I love them so bad. And she
I think
said,
I've seen them.
yeah, they're really funny with their son. And she said they were watching something. She goes, well, you know what they say? Bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe. And I was like, what? I go,
That's
have you
true.
seen the size of my hoops? They're like 3 inches.
Really?
Oh, they're huge.
Khloe Kardashian says that all the time.
Bigger the hoop, bigger the hoe.
Yeah, and that's
I
why she
didn't
wears
know that.
giant hoops.
Well, I'm proud of my
Hers are
hoops.
giant.
I thought they were chola hoops. Actually, that's what I always
love
said.
them.
I thought they were sick, but
cute.
apparently I'm a hoe. I'm a big
Yeah.
fat hoe.
Woo! You're not a big fat hoe.
Well,
but
you know what I
it's
mean.
fine.
The Uggs know if you're going to go out in public, it's best that you, at least, do a lip and a clip. To help out, Paula has your lip and clip tip of the week, brought to you by the Ugly Truth Avon store. Here's Paula.
Hi, Hugs. It's Paula here. I wanted to let you in on a little beauty secret that I have been using for several years now. I have Avon's Beyond Color Lip Conditioner. It moisturizes my lips, softens the feathering lines that can cause lipstick to bleed, and it also gives my lip a more natural pigment so I can leave the house actually without looking like an albino. You should definitely purchase Beyond Color Lip Conditioner. Trust me, your lips will thank you.
Get this and tons of other lip and clip favorites from our Avon store at uglytruth.com/shop. And now, once again, here are the Uggs.
Had me a boy, turned him into a man. I showed him all the things that he didn't understand. Whoa.
So let's get back to travel really quick. All right, so we've talked about our mother almost crashing and dying,
crazy.
which is insane.
It is insane.
And of course, she tells me this, and then the very next words out of my mouth are, "Oh, by the way, we're going to Hawaii in August."
Oh, yay!
We are. Daryl got a bonus, and so we're like, we should do it. We
Are you
should
doing
just.
Maui?
No, we're doing Oahu because Daryl's never.
good for
He's never
you.
been.
I'm sorry, but Oahu gets a bad rap. And
I don't know why. Mom has a bad taste in her mouth
because
about
she's been
it.
there 16,000 times.
That's what I said.
And she's old. And when you're old, you want to go to Maui.
Where there's nothing to do.
So, right? And
Yeah. Well, she did
love
say
Oahu.
she said she goes, well, I highly recommend Maui, and I said, why is that? She goes, well, it's more authentically Hawaiian, and
it's boring.
there's a lot of art shops. I'm like, oh yeah, that
just
sounds super fun, Mom.
right?
Super fun. And I said, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna go to Oahu anyway because we're going to have our children with us, a 20 and 16-year-old. So
Oh, you're taking the kids?
we are. That's the big thing. Is we're taking them
Fantastic.
now. The problem, we got a really cool condo.
Sweet.
She's like, where is it? And so I told her, she goes, Jamie, we
Don't
did.
listen to her. Stop it.
Wait a minute. And I go, well, it's in Western Oahu, and I go, but it's right next to the Aulani, which is the Disney
Gorgeous.
property. And I said, there are these new
That's
condos.
the new part of Oahu.
That's what I said. I go,
is.
it's really nice. And she goes, well, I just want you to know that we rented a condo in Western Oahu.
Yes, for
and
$90 a night.
we told the people at the car rental where we were staying, and his face dropped. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, but I'll send you the link and you can tell me if this is where you stayed.
Is it
and
$90 a night?
well, no.
Okay.
It is not. And she goes,
Enough said.
So I sent her the link. I go, this is where we're staying. And she replies, she goes, well, that's probably not where we stayed.
No, it probably isn't, Mother. I think she answered her off I don't even know where she got the one, but well, it's affordable and as long as it's clean, that's all we care about. I'm
honestly,
like,
I'll tell you
no,
what.
that isn't all we care about.
I believe our stepfather found this condo.
There you go. She actually came home from
She came
Hawaii.
home early.
Rather than, she's like, well, we weren't going to pay those absorbent prices at the hotel, so we just cut our trip short. I'm like, you are ridiculous. Are you joking?
They left.
Who does that?
Because I was watching her damn dogs.
No, I remember when she left. I can't believe she left. I was
And she called me. She's like, hi, daughter. I go, hey, how's it going? She goes, oh, well, we're at home. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You just left.
they were literally gone 2 days. I think
She
they
was,
announced.
you know what? I can only imagine the fight. I can only imagine. I mean, think about, let's just put ourselves in our mother's position. Let's just say our significant others booked a fabulous condo at an amazing rate, and we show up, and
it's a
there
dump in the hood.
is duct tape on the air conditioning, and there's
And it
cockroaches.
was in the hood. It was terrible.
And it was in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And having
I'll
to have...
tell you what I would do. I would turn around, get in the car, and drive directly to the Outrigger Reef on the beach. I don't
and
give a shit if it's
I'd be like,
$400
I'll be
a
at the
night.
Shorebird drinking. I don't know where you'll
And
be.
I don't know why she acts like they're like so poverty stricken. They have money. I'm like, Mom.
This isn't about limited budget for sure.
Which is why I'm like, why didn't you just go to the 4-star, check and be done with it?
I even asked her that. I said, why don't you just...
It was a thing.
I think it was a knockdown,
It was
drag out
absolutely
war.
like I told you.
And so today, when we were talking about it, she goes, well, I learned my lesson. I will never do that again.
Never put Paul in charge of
Ever.
anything.
Ever. She goes, oh no. Yeah, that will never happen again
Right?
to me.
Well, that was your bad. Paula often puts her husband in charge of things that he has no business being in charge of.
Stephanie, I tell her that all the damn
And
time.
I don't get it. It's like, well, I wanted to make him feel important. Well, I wanted him to feel like he had,
You want to make him feel important? Suck his dick. And then you book the hotel, okay? That's how it works.
Right?
That's how it works in this world.
And the thing is my significant other is so grateful that I'm in charge of those things.
Right.
And he's so glad that
He does. Daryl's that way too.
when we show up, it's this amazing place that he
Right.
never would have found. And
Now,
he's
how
like,
do you do? Now, how do you do that? Where do you go to find these amazing places? Because
Well-
you are really good about
Oh, God.
finding.
Well, it's endless research, I'll tell you that.
It is. It
and
is
it takes a
true.
long time.
It does. You have to have patience.
Once you visit a city and you like it, and
Right.
it's a city that you want to go back to over
Yes.
and over, after a while you do trial and error. And you also sort of
Yes.
kind of learn that it's not necessarily worth it to go more often if the quality is bad.
I
And I
agree.
refuse to compromise.
San Francisco's like that.
It's very much like that. Although
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, to be fair, with the part of the state that we live in,
Yeah.
the tourist towns or the places that are amazing and beautiful are difficult to get to any time of the year because we have such great weather all the time.
True.
Perfect example, this weekend coming up, we're trying to go to Monterey. We really want to take
Oh,
the baby
yeah.
to the aquarium. It's something that's been on my
yeah.
bucket list list for years.
Well,
with
since
him.
the baby was born.
And I want to do it really bad, but I swear to God, because it's been 70, it's been gorgeous.
Everybody's flocking.
Everyone's like, oh my God, let's go to Monterey. So the only rooms that are available are doubles, 2 double beds, and they want $400 a night.
Oh,
I am not,
no.
yeah, with no view.
Absolutely not.
You have a view of the courtyard, you know?
No,
and I'm
thanks.
like, no, I'm not doing it. So we always go back to San Francisco because there's 6,000 hotels.
A lot of areas that are depending
lot of
on your
area.
lifestyle.
Depending on what part of the city you want to stay in, and the prices range, from
Yeah.
2 to 500.
Well, I'm a snob now.
Me too.
And I know you are.
I have no right to be, but I am.
Yes, you do. We have expensive tastes. That's all. That's why we go.
I'm not
with,
a 1%er or anything.
we go. No, but we do quality over quantity. Like
Right.
you said, you'll go when you can really go.
Yeah.
And so, for example, last fall, Daryl and I went to this really great event that his company had a part in. And I wanted to stay at the Fairmont.
Beautiful.
Which is my favorite hotel.
Gorgeous.
My favorite hotel. I love that whole 2-block radius.
It's so amazing.
It's amazing. So we didn't get to stay at the Fairmont. We stayed at the place across the street. What's it called?
I have no idea.
It's a classic hotel. It's the top of the Mark Hotel.
Oh, the Intercontinental?
The Intercontinental.
Mark Hopkins.
Yes, the Mark Hopkins Hotel.
That's beautiful, too.
We got a little bit of an upgrade, so we got a nice corner view.
Sweet.
It is an old hotel.
It is.
But it's
But a lot of
considered
hotels
like
there are
historical
old.
or
Fairmont's
something.
old. That's an old hotel.
It is, but-
Are you kidding me?
No, I know, but there's something about the Fairmont.
Well, it's amazing. Yeah.
It's
It's literally
unbelievable.
one of the nicest hotels in the city.
It's where all the celebrities stay.
They do.
It's amazing.
Anthony Bourdain stays nowhere
It's
else.
his. That's right. And so
I love him.
we walk in. Now, the lobby of the Mark Hopkins is amazing.
It is so
And
beautiful.
so we get to our room. Now, everything is smelly, old, like the wood smell, that old classic.
It almost smells a little moldy or
It is
mildewy or
mildewy.
something.
It's a
because
musty smell.
moist. Yes, because it's ocean.
Yes. And, we're walking through the halls. I go, I feel like ghosts are here. It's really old. And I feel like
Or people have been walking around in wet socks.
I feel like we're going to be running into some old 1900s dead maid or something.
It's like the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Yeah, it smells like that. And so we get to our room. The rooms are nice, and of course we have a direct view of the Fairmont. And so I open the window.
Aw, that's like
I go, oh, look at that. He goes, what? I go, it's the Fairmont.
No big deal.
Now Paula, of course, is like, you're such a bitch, and I'm like,
know, right?
why? I go, because I want to stay at the Fairmont. That doesn't make me a bitch.
No, because it's the way you were saying it passive
can't help it. I'm
aggressively
like,
to your
oh,
husband.
look
Like,
at
well,
that, the Fairmont.
we can't afford the Fairmont, but oh well, this is nice.
He's like, well, honey, this is an upgrade. I'm like, I know, it's fine.
it smells moldy and there's ghosts, but
Whatever.
whatever.
Hey, haunted
I'm not
mansion.
complaining.
Hey,
I'm grateful.
It's awesome. Thanks. So glad we're going to this event. Can't wait. I know. It's horrible. And of course, Daryl, he starts playing with his hair. He's feeling, and I'm like, honey. And then I have to back up. I'm like,
Then
look.
you feel bad. But
I go, everything's fine. It's
Great.
fine, really.
and pretty much like a million people would love to be.
And the Mark
where you
Hopkins
are.
is actually quite lovely.
It's beautiful.
And the top of the Mark was fun.
It's just old.
Yeah, but they would call that classic. Classic
is.
San
It
Francisco.
is.
And it is. The martinis didn't like them very much. But I mean,
Why?
I don't know. They were $15 a pop and they were very gin heavy.
Ew.
I didn't think
I don't
they
drink
were
gin
very
martinis.
good.
I only drink vodka.
Well, they were the classic martinis.
Right.
So I just
but
got
gin's gross.
it did not taste good.
Have you ever had it before?
Gin? Oh yeah.
Is it good in anything?
I've had flavored gin stuff, but it's really like the hipster dope kind of drinks where you can't really even taste it.
You just taste the fruity thing.
Yeah, but this was a hardcore,
you're drinking the gin with a little
a
splash
real
of
martini
vermouth.
it was a dirty martini, gin martini, and I was like,
Yuck.
bleh.
It's like
Wasn't my
you're
fave.
rubbing
Okay,
alcohol.
so when we went to a wedding a couple of weeks ago in LA, we stayed at this. It was
Nice, I saw.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a little
I
rundown.
think it was a Hilton, wasn't it?
It is a Hilton in the Woodland Hills. I'll never stay there again. It's
Right.
in the middle of a business.
'Cause why would you be
district.
there? Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it was nice.
Yeah.
So most hotels have the little, what are those Keurig, the little pocket coffee
Oh,
makers?
yeah.
I don't even know what those things are called. I don't do
Keurig.
those.
It's the
Yeah.
well, depending on the brand.
The little packet
right.
thingies.
It's
Okay.
the little 1 cup.
It's not the old fashioned coffee makers anymore.
Right.
So I said it's weird how
But
they.
you know what? Those are actually out in California because they're considered environmentally wasteful.
Oh, the Keurigs.
So people will actually make comments about those and reviews saying, they have the Keurig. How
Oh,
ridiculous.
God, ridic.
Because we're like literally filling up our landfills. And oh my God.
Well, I'm never a fan of the Keurig because I was like a cup and a half.
Right.
And I like it
It's not
strong,
enough.
and it's not strong enough. But anyway, so Daryl and I were looking at it going, oh, look at that, a Keurig, huh? And so he said, really interesting discussion I had with an old boss of his who did a ton of travel. And he said, I just want to tell you, I want to pass along some information that someone told me about travel when it comes to the hotels. And he said, what's that? He goes, never use the coffee makers.
Oh, God.
And I said, and I immediately start
Why they have to keep
swallowing.
it carried?
And I said, why?
What's the swallowing reaction?
Well, it was like a, and I go, why? Because I mean, I've used them many times. And I'm like, why?
I mean, I always wash them out.
Well, I said, why? And he said, because whores use them to wash their underwear.
Ew, you're lying.
No, I'm serious. That's what she said.
Oh, they stick them in where the thing... Shut up!
They stick them in the filter and they let the hot water wash their underwear and then they hang them up to dry. Are you thinking about all the times you use a coffee maker?
Holy shnikey.
I swear to God, Stephanie, I started to calculate the number of times I have made coffee in those things.
Okay, that's the last time I
listen,
ever...
I mean, how often do you think maids are cleaning those things out?
Well, I wash mine out.
Well, you rinse the carafe, but
Well,
I mean...
right. No, I rinse the part where the water goes in.
Well, now you rip open the thing and you put the thing in, right?
But I still... No, I
you
do.
rinse everything?
I do.
You think that takes the splooge
No.
out? No.
Well, it didn't occur to me that people would be washing their...
Well, apparently initially it was pantyhose, but then they started adding their thongs.
Oh my God, we literally had the conversation about pantyhose the other day and how when sometimes you go into a stall and it smells like
oh God,
dirty snatch.
It smells like pussy and sweat. Yeah, it's the worst.
Like dirty pantyhose.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's the same smell.
It's bad. You know what? You know where you'll get that? Church bathrooms.
County bathrooms.
People wear pantyhose at the county?
No, they don't wear pantyhose, but they just have rotten cooch. I have no idea.
Wait, these are the women that walk around with blankets, right?
Right.
They're snugglies. What are those called? Those snuggles? Snuggies. They walk around with their snuggies.
They do. So
their
we don't really know
pajama
where
bottoms.
it comes from, but I was complaining about how bad it smells. I'm like, literally, there was like 3 girls taking a shit at the same time.
What?
I don't get it. I do
Why
not
do people
get
poo
it.
at work?
I don't know.
You know, I kind of understand when men do it.
Why?
Because men are like scheduled. They're very scheduled people.
right.
They're very routine. But I mean, you can.
So
that
you
means
build
you can
your
train.
routine to shit at home,
Right.
That's my
like,
thing.
you know, Daryl does it in the morning and he refuses to drink coffee on the train.
Thank you.
You know, because he's not going to do.
he's
He goes,
smart.
it messes my stomach up. I'm like,
Right?
totally respect it.
Right?
Get it.
Unless Daryl's an executive, so he doesn't have his own bathroom.
No. No, this is San Francisco. Everything is very hippy dippy
Yeah,
equal there.
right.
Everybody respects
They
each
probably
other's.
have co-ed bathrooms.
I don't know. I just
kinda
know that
new.
when he tells me things, I'm just like, you know what? Why do you have to acknowledge everyone's
You do.
opinion and feelings?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I would never
awful.
survive. And I told him that I'd be like the worst boss ever in San Francisco.
probably
I'd be
wouldn't
like, I don't want to
last, yeah.
hear any of your entitled crap ever. Go to work. Jesus Christ! We have
Yeah.
another meeting about a meeting.
You do.
Stop it.
It's awful.
Yeah, I don't get the whole pooping and women pooping at work. That is outrageous.
It's outrageous. And it's so common that I've just literally don't breathe when I go in there.
Stephanie.
So, but what I was telling my friend,
You literally
I
took a
finally
big
stopped.
breath.
No. Well, because Jerry
God.
always says that he's like, I'd rather smell it through my nose than my mouth because it's not
the
on
taste.
my tongue. So that's there.
I can't take
So
it.
now I basically just use my shirt as a filter and like I put it over my mouth.
Coming
and
in,
nose.
decent human coming in.
Well, I'll pretend like I'm walking in like a normal person, but the second I walk in
you're
that
all-
star, I have it in my... Yes, I hold my breath, and then I put that
You
thing
know
over
what?
my
I've
mouth.
done that.
I've also done it with toilet paper.
Yeah, I've done that.
I've also gagged in the stalls because of how bad it was.
Really?
I'm pretending I'm coughing. I'm like...
What are people eating?
They're... The
Too
thing
much
about,
grease.
Yeah, the
Too
county,
much grease.
I've got a gag right now. We're talking about it.
Sorry.
Not joking.
Sorry, I forgot. You
I
have to
the
live it.
worst Gag reflex.
You have to live it.
Ask my daughter. I can't even brush my teeth in the morning. It's every morning it's the same thing.
God.
My own spit makes me gag.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, it's a problem. And I said I don't know what's worse if I'd rather smell someone's crap or if I'd rather smell someone's rotten cooch. I can't decide.
Jesus. I think poo would win. I would not want to smell someone's cooch.
Well, yeah.
I
Because
can't
at least
do it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Because that's all right.
can't go on.
No more disease.
My
All right.
eyes are
I don't even
watering.
know. How did we even get on the subject of dirty vaginas?
Incest.
Oh,
Oh, traveling.
coffee
hotels.
maker. The coffee maker situation.
Right.
So from now on,
That's the most repulsive thing I've heard.
don't
in my
ever
life.
use it
No, I
again.
will
We'll
order.
never ever use it again.
Ever.
So hoteliers, you need to figure that. I mean, stick
And
with the
they keep them
Keurigs
in the bathroom.
For the love of Christ, stick with the Keurigs.
Yeah. Why do they keep them in the bathroom?
Oh my God.
It's not a great idea.
Do you think people know that they use them for that and that's why they're in there?
No, but it does occur to me that when you flush the toilet, I've heard that things fly out of the toilet.
Oh no.
Haven't you ever heard that?
Yes, a million times.
So I'm just wondering what particles land on the coffee maker.
Oh my God.
So I usually take it out of the bathroom and do it in the other room.
Oh my, you know what? I've
now
done
that
that.
you've said that.
You'll never use it again,
And
right?
do prostitutes go in nice hotels? Like 4- and 5-star hotels?
I would imagine. I mean, they're not
Maybe
all
they're not the
street
type
hookers.
to put theirs in there. And maybe a 5-star prostitute doesn't. Please write us if you're a prostitute and tell us. Do you wash your underwear?
If you're a lady of the night, do you use the coffee makers at the hotels? Although,
Yeah, lady of
what
the
I've
night,
heard
that's
is that airport hotels are the worst.
For sure.
But that it's pretty much a given that you don't use the coffee. And I'm like, well, I'll never. Okay, so, all right, well, let's talk about TV a little bit. So the Oscars are this weekend.
Yay.
Do you watch the Oscars?
I do.
I do too.
I may not watch it solid, but I will watch.
I will breeze through the red carpet.
I like the red carpet.
Love it.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's hosting. Like, who are the little talking heads they get for red carpet this year? I don't even know anymore. I will say,
Depends on what network you watch.
right. I will say they're, fucking women in Hollywood. No offense, because I love them all. Most of them.
Yeah.
They're making it a really big deal this year that they don't want them to ask questions like, oh, who are you wearing?
Who are you wearing? That's been going on. That's a trend.
They want to know their
Because it
feelings.
doesn't matter what I'm wearing.
Right.
It should be about me, the person.
You know what? If it doesn't
and my
matter-
artistic creativity.
If it doesn't matter what you're wearing, then show up in freaking
That's what I'm saying.
Gap shirts like
Hello.
Sharon Stone did 20 years ago.
show.
She was the shit back then. So I'm just curious who they're going to have interviewing these women who have
Juliana Rancic,
issues.
probably.
Oh God, I know.
For
Do you still
E.
like her?
I never liked her as a journalist.
Like
if you
as
wanna call
a
her.
talking head on the E network?
Like I don't find her serious in that way,
Right.
And I liked her when she was, and this always happens. It always happens that someone who's normal and relatable,
Right.
and like the people, they turn into these snobby, rich. I'm better than
They
you.
forget who they
just
are.
Totally do, and for her, it took very little time.
Well, I think what happened was after Joan Rivers passed away,
Yeah.
she decided to move into the big bitch spot,
Right.
and she is not that person.
She doesn't.
She's not
big enough.
She's
Yeah.
not a comedian.
She's not funny.
And everything she said that Joan Rivers would said sounded like a mean girl.
It sounded like a bitch. Yeah.
And it ruined her career.
Right.
It ruined her career,
Yeah,
and it
she
was
just couldn't pull
poor.
it off.
Well, yeah. So the Oscars, I'm excited about that. I'm curious to see who will be looking horrible
right.
and who will look
There will
amazing.
be somebody horrible. There always is. Thank God.
You know who always looks really horrible is who's that one little ugly I wanted to call her a waitress, but she's not a
Anne
waitress.
Hathaway.
She's not. She's big as a house right now. She's not.
she?
She's pregnant.
I
There's
didn't
no
know.
way. Well, you know what?
Yeah, she's ugly.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if she showed up pregnant because
With the bulging belly bump, being like, I'm embracing.
she's like, I'm 8 months pregnant and I'm a natural woman. You know her. You know her. Oh God, she's been
mug is
off
ugly.
the radar.
You
And
know-
why is she so
I don't know.
smug and like, I know you really respect me? It's like, no,
you
we
really
don't, Princess
the
Bride.
only movie I ever liked her in was
Princess Diaries. Oh no,
no,
The Devil Wears Prada.
Well, she was all right. The Princess Diaries, but those movies are
Well, she was a kid.
Yeah.
She was a kid.
definitely Devil Wears Prada.
Well, I'm only one flew away from my goal weight. I just eat a cube of cheese. It's just my favorite movie.
I absolutely love that movie, but we love fashion,
We do.
and there's a lot of fashion in that movie.
Yes, that's true. So the red carpet will be exciting, and Leonardo DiCaprio is going to win.
I hope so.
I really want him
And
to
you know
win.
what? I have to say that even though
needs it.
he's uber famous, uber rich, he's been in everything. He deserves it.
He does deserve
He is
it.
a great actor. He's not just a good-looking.
The one thing that Paul and I have debated about is he must have pissed somebody off.
Why? That he hasn't won before?
Yeah, because it's the same reason Al Pacino didn't win either.
Well, I'm trying to think.
They threw him a bone for that horrible movie where he played a blind guy.
But that movie was so lame.
It was stupid.
I liked the movie.
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good, though.
He should have gotten it for The Godfather or Serpico or any of the other million. Oh, The Devil's Advocate, personally,
Right?
one of my personal
I love that
favorites.
movie, yeah.
But he didn't, and so it's like when you see these ridiculously obvious wins,
Right,
and they
and they
don't
don't
get
win.
it. To me, they've pissed someone off. It's
Okay,
like,
well-
whose daughter did he bang and
Right?
hurt?
Well, who hasn't he banged?
Exactly. That they're
Me.
like, you
hello,
will,
I'm available.
if I'm alive, you will never win an Oscar. You know, it's one of those things. It's got to be.
Well, and maybe he has a shitty attitude or something.
Maybe,
but
maybe.
He's
such a good actor.
He is great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a movie that. Because honestly, as an actor, he is great, but the movie has to be great too. Because
Yes.
if the movie's not great, even though he may be fabulous,
Right.
no one cares.
Now, I haven't seen The Revenant. I don't go.
I haven't either, but I've
I
heard it's very, very gory, but very awesome.
really want to
Amazing.
see it, but it's just like I have.
Have you seen The Werewolf of Wall Street?
Oh, the a Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay, yeah.
The Werewolf of Wall Street. No, I have not. I've heard it's very
Totally
good.
knew what I meant.
Yes, I have heard it's really, really good.
Oh my God, Jamie!
I know.
You have to
I don't
put
know
it
why.
On your list of movies that you will force yourself to watch.
Is he nude? Is there nakedness?
Yes.
Okay, then
oh
I'll
my
watch
God,
it.
There's hella sex in it.
He's like the only. Well, him and Brad Pitt are
I
the
don't
only
think there's
blondes.
frontal, but there's
that's
definitely
okay. He's got a
ass.
nice butt.
Oh my God!
And I'm not even a butt person.
I'm not really either.
But I'm
as
a
long
good-
as your butt's not gross.
No wobbly, saggy, weird,
Well,
loose skin.
I'm sorry, but I know I'm weird, but
What?
naked men in general do not turn me on.
No, they look like goats.
Right.
They do. That's okay. That's why I like the chestal area and hair.
Right,
I'm a
right.
very big fan of good hair. And
I
Leo
do.
has good hair.
And he has great eyes.
He has good. Yes, he does.
and facial structure.
He's
in
very
general.
Grecian looking, very old, ancient Italian.
Yeah, he is absolutely fucking gorgeous.
He's a good guy.
I'd love to sleep with him. Let's just put it.
He's
out
on.
there.
I believe he's on all of our free pass lists.
Pretty
I
much.
mean, whatever.
If you want to divorce me, that's fine.
Well, he's one of those people too, and we're just so fucking arrogant that if he was in a room, we'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to get that person. That he's going to be mine.
Yeah, I know he might intimidate me just slightly.
Really?
At least. Well, I don't know. could
I
probably
don't
get
think
past
so.
it.
I think we'd be all right
the
with
thing about
it.
Leo, though,
we're
is
pretty confident
he has
people.
slept with almost every Victoria's Secret angel,
Well,
and
be like, you want
drop-dead
to try
gorgeous-
something strange? You want to try something different? You want to see what a real boob feels like? I'm just wondering.
Right.
Because now I'm absolutely offering that to you.
But he also has slept with when he was in his teen years, all those actresses he slept with a lot of those girls too.
You know what? I just don't even know what kind of life
like
he
Lindsay
lives.
Lohan, I think she's claimed to have slept with him. I know, and she's just gross.
He was
beyond
slumming
gross. Well, he wasn't that famous back then.
That's true.
And it was kind of like they were all just becoming famous. And
now he's like at
rich.
this elite,
He's
rarefied
untouchable. He's
air.
unfucking touchable. Like,
Yeah, he's really unusual.
he's now boning royalty. Like he's like, unless you're like in the
know.
palace, like you're not touching.
I
me.
know, and he has like his own damn island and stuff. So
Right.
it's like, would you like to come to my island? Sure.
Absolutely. He's
Whatever.
like Mariah Carey. Like they're like on
Yes.
another planet. They're looking down at us, being like, oh,
Look at all you little people. I could have any one of you I wanted. How fun.
Totally.
Yeah, so I would love to see Leo win.
But not because he's gorgeous.
I don't really know what other. Normally, I'm really good about what's the what.
We're getting old. You know what? And I
just don't
hate
have
to say that, but
time.
it's just gotten to the point to where some of the movies to me are just so non-interesting.
Well, I have to
And my
be
time is so
mentally
valuable. I'm
Well,
like-
it's like I have to be mentally prepared to see something like The Revenant.
That movie I will absolutely see.
I will see it, but it's like to go and be stressed out for 3 hours. It's like I really have to be in a good place. I can't
Yeah.
be stressed or having a rough time of it. It'll be
striking.
interesting to see. Okay, so we'll see if Anne Hathaway shows up with her big belly.
She probably won't. You're probably right. Especially if she's that far along.
Although, she can't turn down a red carpet.
That's true.
She'll wear some pale thing.
She
I wonder what
will.
the color will be this year. I wonder if it'll be like melon or salmon because
trying to
it's
guess.
the beginning of spring, so they'll be wearing the spring colors. I know everyone's so like bated breath wondering what everyone's going to be wearing.
I wonder if the Kardashians will get invited.
Oh God, no.
They don't get invited to the A-list stuff, huh?
Hell no.
They're at all the after parties.
Yes.
Because they were at the after parties. What was the last one that we just had?
The Grammys.
The Grammys.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
with Kanye, of
He's
course.
such a douche.
I think he's
know what?
ill. I think he's truly
I
ill.
do too. And now there's
Mentally ill.
like in the tabloids, like like the National Enquirer and
Yeah.
stuff, they're starting to report that Kim's ready to divorce him. And
Oh, you know what? Stephanie, she's laying low. That's her MO. We were talked about this a while ago. When Kim is done, she starts to lay
Right.
low. You don't see her anywhere. She's gathering her chicks and, nobody's...
it's almost like she allows the person
They let him hang.
self-destructing.
Let
That way
him
when
hang.
she leaves, she doesn't look like the asshole.
That's right.
And no one would blame her.
Now, the rumors
But-
are starting to float in the non-certifiable tabloids that
Well, I
she's
mean-
divorcing. But
Yeah.
that's...
I just want to know if it continues. Like,
Yeah.
if those things keep floating around,
Yes.
then there's probably some legitimacy. I totally get that people like to make up bullshit about her
Yes.
and her family and
Right,
stuff. I do.
right. What I think though, somebody mentioned this to me, is that they don't think that they're actually together that often. That
They're not.
That might prolong the inevitable or ever, because they just simply will live apart. She's going to raise her kids and show off her big booty, and that's what she'll do.
I don't understand
know.
her. I really don't. I don't
either.
mean, I don't see how he can be what he is in public and be that different.
I don't think he is.
I don't either. So I'm like, okay, so even if he's exaggerating or he's like riding the whole douchebag train, like it's his thing
for
like
publicity
people
or whatever
talk about him when he's a jerk.
Sure.
Even if that's true, I don't think it's that much of a stretch.
No, I think he's a big asshole.
Pretty natural about it.
I think he's pretty much a big asshole.
She's fake and phony, and she definitely does things strategically in her life.
She does, but that's the thing. She protects her brand, and this is kind of tarnishing her brand, no matter what anyone thinks it is.
Well, I don't know how you can continue to have that much negative publicity.
I don't know.
And still, like, be like, oh, I love my husband. I love my kids.
Haven't heard her say that in a while. I don't know.
Well, if you read E, I mean, E is basically the Kardashian.
Well, that's
network.
Ryan Seacrest's
Just call
baby.
It the Kardashian network.
It's true.
I mean,
it is true. Okay, so we will watch the Oscars. All we care about is
looking
Leo
forward to it.
winning and the fashion.
I do love the fashion.
We'll probably, what we'll probably do is the live Facebook thing. We always do
Right?
that.
Love that.
Where we talk about it on Facebook Live, which is always so
who
fun.
looks hideous and who looks great.
Exactly.
The Ugly Truth podcast will always be free, so we appreciate you supporting the show by shopping on Amazon via our links on uglytruth.com. Here's Jamie with her Amazon pick of the week.
Hi, Hugs. Let's talk about Kindle Unlimited on Amazon. It's like Netflix for books. It grants you full access to over 1 million book titles, thousands of audiobooks on any device where you can download the free Kindle reading app, including your Kindle. And with Kindle narration, you can switch from reading to listening without losing your place. So when you have to get those kids or run to work, you can stay in your story zone. Get your free 30-day trial of Kindle Unlimited by clicking through our website, uglytruth.com. Unlimited reading, unlimited listening, any device. Not like us, actually.
You can get this deal and literally anything you could ever want from Amazon and support our show at the same time by visiting uglytruth.com/shop. Thanks for helping out the truth. Let's get back to the show.
So we are going to now move on to our ugly and awkward moment of the week.
Oh, yay.
So you're going to go first.
Oh, God. Okay, so my ugly and awkward moment is mostly awkward.
Okay.
And fortunately for me, for once in my life, I didn't do anything awkward.
Oh.
But it was awkwardness that was thrown upon me, cast upon me.
Oh, my God.
And so I had to not react.
Oh, dear.
And it was horrible.
All right.
And it involves bodily function.
Oh, dear.
And it involves a superior. So I went, we have these meetings at work where once a month, you're supposed to do this once a month, but we're not very consistent about it. You're supposed to meet with your superior and you're supposed to discuss your progress, what you need to work on. It's supposed to be generally a positive thing, but a lot of times it ends up being negative because you're pretty much pointing out the flaws of me.
Okay.
And trying to say it in a positive manner.
I'm already trying to think of 1 million things that happened.
Okay, so it's not at all what I expected.
Okay.
So for the first time, my particular superior is trying to think outside the box.
Okay.
He's trying to be forward thinking. I appreciate that. So he decided that instead of us sitting in his office and having some cold, staunch meeting, that we would go for coffee. I thought it was a great idea. I was shocked.
Yeah.
It was a little weird, but I was like, all right, fine, I'm down.
Yeah.
So there's a coffee shop that's in our parking lot.
Oh,
within
sweet.
walking distance.
So you just walk.
We walked over there. We sat down. It was an odd time of day. So nobody was in there. There was no rush. It's a little mom and pop coffee shop. It's not Starbucks.
All right.
And we sat down. He bought my coffee. Very nice. We started chatting. There's literally no one in the coffee shop except for us. And it's kind of like an old school coffee shop. It reminds me of the Friends coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
But smaller.
Okay,
So
okay.
there's couches and stuff. But we
Nice.
sat at a table. But it's just that kind of place.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very quiet. And we were talking, and we were not maybe 10 minutes into the conversation, and I had I got the look. The look like, what's that odor?
Oh, no.
And and see, here's the thing. My boss is one of those people who has to try very hard to be articulate and has to try very hard to be witty and intellectual.
So it does not come naturally to this
does not
person.
come natural to him, and he's very socially awkward.
Oh, boy.
Now I like him,
Sure.
and I respect him.
Well, he's your superior.
as a person, yes,
Absolutely.
But I know I see things.
Well, we're very sensitive
I am
to our environment.
So he's weak,
Yes.
and
If you guys can see her face, she looks like a monster right now. No, go on.
and he's a man. So weak men
Yes.
rub me the wrong way.
They do.
and
That's
I can't
true.
help it. And
yeah.
he's petite.
Oh dear God, he's got a lot going against him.
He's small.
Wow.
So, but because he struggles,
Right?
it's obvious to me.
Okay.
So I try very hard to not make him feel inferior.
Oh,
I
you're
can't-
really respectful.
I try.
Well, he is your boss. I mean, you can't
my
be
boss.
like, I see through you.
Totally.
No. I'm sorry.
It's totally true.
Go on.
And the thing about it is that I can't help the way that I am. I am naturally articulate.
Yes.
And I can't help it. I try not to be sometimes because it makes people feel uncomfortable.
You shouldn't dim your shine, as people say.
But you know,
But you're just trying to be,
but I
just
come
being aware.
I come off snobby. I come off stuck up. You
So
know,
do I.
and I don't mean to. I
Happens
swear
to me all the time.
Christ, I don't mean to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do. You know, try to put myself in check with certain people.
Sure. So you smell. So his face is giving you the
He's
clue.
talking. He's talking away. He's having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes apparently aware to me that what was a quick waft is turning into a cloud.
Oh no.
And there's no one around.
So you know it's you
and
or
I
him.
know for a fact it wasn't me.
Your
Are you
anus is
kidding me?
clean.
My anus is tight as a drum. Nothing's
God.
getting out of that butt that I don't want to.
I've got the best anus control.
And that's why I don't get people who like say, "Oh, it just came out." I'm like, bullshit.
Really? No, it didn't. It takes a Herculean effort for me to
Okay.
let it go, even when I'm alone. Okay.
Right.
I mean, Daryl. It's funny 'cause Daryl is just like, I don't even know if you go to the bathroom. I'm like,
I had my ex-husband convinced that I didn't.
I remember that
Women don't shit until they're 40.
he was
What? Are you serious?
He was such a stoner.
to
He
God.
believed anything.
He was 20.
It was so funny.
Anyway.
Like, and you're like, back me up, and I'm like, no, women do not shit. We absolutely don't. That's why we're so bitchy. He's like, wow, that
full
makes
of crap.
perfect sense.
So
So now what are you doing?
well,
I mean,
so
do you do the mom thing where you start doing the clothesline, clipping your nose so you don't have to smell it?
well, the thing is look, it's one of those things where I'm not really sure how to react. I'm like, do I pretend? Have I already blown it? Have I already because
You know your nose is twitching at this point.
well,
right?
and my face,
your face is got
my face is
fearful.
looking around for another explanation.
How can we get out of this
well,
issue?
at first, it's like shock. It's like what? Like did somebody? Not to say,
Yeah.
It wasn't the first thought that somebody. I can't even say the word because I refuse to say the F word. That someone passed
Pass gas.
cut the cheese, whatever.
Sure.
Because I'm thinking, is she microwaving something back there?
Is it a hot pocket? Oh no! Oh
Like, did she cook something with Swiss cheese?
Oh my god!
No. So, and then it occurs to me what it is,
God,
and
it's
that there's
him.
only one person who can be responsible.
It's your boss's butt.
And I'm like, are you effing kidding me? And then I just can't think about anything else.
Now you're not hearing a word he's saying.
I can't, and I'm thinking he knows. Because
Well, how can you not? He's got to be able to smell that too.
well, he knows he did it, and he knows he smells it. But he's probably wondering, did it travel across the table? Does she realize it?
God, oh
Is
God.
she not, it's so much easier to be in denial about something like that and think, well, it's probably not quite that far.
I'd be like, is this a test? Am I supposed to pretend I don't notice? What did you do?
So I probably had the most, I don't even know. I'm sure that my face was showing it.
Oh dear.
But I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
And it was extremely awkward. It was just the worst.
So did you just
experience.
sit through and wait for it to go away?
I did. And I didn't inhale. I did the best I
Wow,
could to
you
breathe
are
shallow.
so strong.
What would you do? Do you acknowledge it? Do you be like, did you fart? I mean, what do you say?
You know what? I don't know because, I've done some really stupid things in front of bosses. But I've never done that or had that happen to me. Like, I have never been
know.
assaulted by my boss.
Assaulted I was.
Butthole.
So angry.
I would probably, God, I know
Tell the
me.
truth.
I know. My gut is telling me that. I'd be like, what is that? I'd be like, what is that? I'm like, do you think they're cooking something? I would give them a way out of it. But I'd be like, you know what? Let's go. I mean, depending on how long you've been, like, maybe we should just talk and walk back. Anything. Because you know what I'm thinking?
We literally just got there. Like,
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that he had gas and that's why he wanted to walk.
That's possible.
I absolutely do. And he was hoping to get it all out in the parking lot. And
Wow.
the curry just did not settle, or whatever he
Well, he's a
ate.
coffee drinker. I'm sorry, I'm gagging. Stop it. I am so sensitive.
Yeah,
I just can't handle breathing another human being's gas. Oh,
that is so.
it grosses me
awful.
out so
I can't believe you didn't gag.
I mean, it took everything in me.
Were your eyes watering?
I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure I was giving it away because I just know me. I don't hide my.
We're not good at hiding
can't hide
things. Wow, you're brave because I would have been like, "What is
And
that?"
I get angry.
Oh yeah, you're mad.
Some people would laugh and think it was funny.
No, I'd be mad.
I'm like, I'm angry.
I'm like, how dare you? How dare you?
I find it disrespectful. I'm like,
Well, you're like our mother. It's like, if you're going to do that, go to the bathroom. He could have gone to the bathroom. Why did you do that? Why did you say, be right back? And
every time you hear me cough, I'm gagging.
I'm sorry.
People.
It's a gag fest over here.
I seriously cannot talk about this kind of thing. That's
so
how offensive
funny.
it is to me.
It is. Well, it is offensive.
Well, I mean, I know it's weird, but I'm like, I just, some people don't find it that offensive. I did share this experience with a friend who laughed. First, she's like, you're lying. And I swear to God, on my white skin, I am telling the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not embellishing. I swear. So that was my ugly and awkward moment.
Wow.
I'm so grateful it wasn't me, but I did put myself in that situation for a moment. I'm like, if I'm him and I have to do it that bad, I am squeezing my asshole so tight.
And then, because at some point, you know what, honestly, really, he should have just said, I'm going to use the bathroom really quick and tried to get it all out. Yeah. Because, that when it's that foul, it's usually more than just gas. I'm sorry. I knew you were going to do it. I knew. I'm sorry.
All right,
sorry. Okay, I'll move on to mine. I can already tell you won 10,000 points. But
maybe people don't think that's funny, but I found it weird.
That is awful.
Oh, God.
If that had happened to me, I would have absolutely responded differently.
And this is a person who wears
suits, polyester suits.
No, he doesn't wear suits. No, he tries to be very modern.
Does he wear like Wrangler jeans with a blazer?
He wears like berets and like little Dutch boy hats.
Wait,
and
what?
Stuff, like to complete the whole outfit.
Wait, what? Is he gay?
No, he's not gay.
Oh my goodness!
But when I first met him, I thought he was.
Well, berets usually.
Well, okay, maybe.
No, you know what? I take that back to our gay friends. I know you all don't wear berets. Okay.
Okay, so it's that hat you wear. You know how like that hat that they wear.
Oh, the newsies. The little newsboy caps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So berets not the correct.
Does he wear little vests? Does he have a beard?
Does not have a beard.
Wow.
But,
okay.
but
well, he's a confused gentleman.
He does wear those type of things, yes.
With bad gas.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we are in the bedroom studio today, and as you can see, I am taking down. I had this.
Oh, yes.
I had the old lady swag.
Oh, you did. That's
and
right.
Of course, our mother was like, "Oh, I think that's really tasteful. I think you should keep that." And I said, "It's coming down immediately." And so I took it down. Now, also, you will see an 11-foot board that is laying along the wall.
Was that the valance thingy?
Some kind of valance. It was being held up by some thing. I mean, it was really done poorly.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I decided that I would be taking it down by myself.
Oh, that was smart.
Yeah.
It's like 600 pounds.
Yeah, it's very very heavy, and apparently there's a bunch of nails sticking out of it. So not only was
I think it was taped to the wall?
Well, I thought it was just a couple of things, and then I started to realize how heavy it was, and my arms were burning because I have T-Rex arms. I'm the worst.
I have no upper body strength.
I mean, you'll see my kettlebell, my elliptical. I exercise all the time. I still have T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
I will never be a strong person.
It's just an army
upper body, never, ever. I envision that I have like hay for muscles. I mean, nothing ever. So I get to the very last bracket, and I said, okay,
now what?
This is when shit gets real, because I know this is a lot.
On that little
I'm on my little step stool, and I know that if Daryl was here, he'd be like, "What are you doing?
Was there no one here you could yell at to help?"
No, I was alone because I wanted to get it done. I wanted to get things done.
Right.
I didn't want to wait, which is my biggest problem.
I can do this.
I can do it. And so I started screwing the very, very last screw.
There it goes.
It fell because it's like 40 pounds. It's like 50
heavy.
pounds. It's very heavy. So it started to fall. So, of course, I decide in my mind, I'm going, okay, I have a screwdriver. I don't want to fall. I don't want to stab myself because that would be bad.
Throw the screwdriver.
I flung the screwdriver. The board falls down and I grab it and there's like little nails sticking out of it. So I cut my finger.
Oh, ow.
I'm hoping I don't get tetanus or anything.
You won't.
But it hurt. And luckily I didn't get it on my head, but it was a very awkward falling back and trying not to kill myself.
You're
and
lucky
I thought,
that you didn't impale that sliding glass door that's like 20 feet long.
Luckily, I fell back, but yes, it would have been bad. And
or
so
really
I'm like,
hurt yourself.
I know. And the thing is, I've said this to Paula before. It's like, it's really only a matter of time before I get like elderly and I'm trying to pull this shit off.
Yeah, and that's how elderly people like break their hips and stuff.
I'm gonna like die.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, at least I only just cut my finger. And of course, for me, any kind of injury, I'm like, ow. Forever. Like, is there anyone here who feels sorry for me? Don't you even care? No one.
No one cares.
No one cares. So, but you totally win surviving a gas attack.
Yes, you need something to levy it against. so that when the end comes down, it's like the
It doesn't
equivalent
just
of another human being.
rip out of the wall.
The only reason why this doesn't terribly surprise me is because I live with someone who's in construction.
Yes.
And who's constantly
Hurting.
risking his own life.
I know.
Or limb.
Because they don't want to do it the right way.
Well, they have to do it by themselves.
Oh, yes, that's
they don't
true.
have a choice.
Independent. Yes.
So you do these things, and they sound like a good idea. They seem perfectly reasonable at the time. And
know.
you're lucky you didn't bash yourself in the skull.
I'm lucky of a lot of things. I'm very fortunate, but I'm so fucking stubborn.
Well, it's down.
It's down, and this weekend I will be spackling all
I was
the
about
holes.
to say, hopefully you're going to be...
No, I'm gonna. Well, Daryl will be here, so now he'll do it all.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. So then I will have to paint the whole wall.
Well,
Something.
good
But
for
anyway.
you.
So yeah, that's my awkward moment, but yours is way better. So you win 10,000 points to Stephanie. The guest wins, and not because I'm being
I got to
nice.
smell my boss's asshole. Awesome.
Oh my God.
So happy about that.
You know what? I can't even imagine. I really
I feel
can't.
like he should be humiliated.
He should be. You gave him a lot of leeway. I would have been way more hostile than you.
I think my eyes were twitching. I'm pretty sure. Like, they were like...
God, I'd be
And then
out
it
of
was
my
like one of those
mind.
things where you like realize you're having a face and you're all... Yeah,
You're like,
and then you're trying to have a normal
and
conversation.
you don't want to breathe or talk because I remember one time.
I think I grabbed my coffee. It was like,
Oh my God! it's like
yes, I was
through
breathing
the coffee
air.
hole. Anything is better than this.
Pretty much.
I probably would have excused myself. I think I would have gone to the restroom. Something.
It was like anything I would have done would have made it like pronounced.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I mean,
but
I don't know why. My friend was the same way. She's like, "Why do you give him? Why did you give him the out?" I'm like, I don't know.
Because you're trying to be kind.
was trying to be
You're
polite,
actually,
yeah.
as mean as you are, you're actually quite kind.
I
and
know,
and
right?
you really are.
Thank
It's
you.
Daryl's like, no one knows how kind you are. I go, honey, if you could be in my mind, you wouldn't even be able to
I know.
fathom how hateful I
That's
am.
true.
It's hard to
I am as well.
understand. I have sympathy. I have empathy. I care for humans.
I do too.
But I hate most people.
I do.
I really, really do.
do
And that would not be limited to people that I genuinely like. I'm like, that's why I have like 4 friends.
Yes.
And they're all my sisters. And I don't even like them all the time. So, like I told Paula, I said, we're like cats. We can handle some fun and for some time. But if you pet us too long, we're going to scratch you. And
bite you.
And we'll go run away and you can talk to us later. That's kind of how we are.
Totally.
Anyway,
Yeah.
on that note, thank you, Ugg, for coming in and sharing all of these crazy stories. It's been
Right.
very high energy and very hilarious.
I hope
And
your listeners
actually,
enjoyed it.
what's funny, listeners, is this is pretty much what it's like when we get together, which is why we only do it like once every 6 months
Yeah.
because it is
intense.
exhausting. And
is
we have a
exhausting.
life tomorrow, so
Right? I have to be at work at the crack. You have your domestic thing to do.
I feel like I've been working out.
I'm sorry.
Aren't you excited? I mean, aren't you?
No, totally.
Yeah, it's fun. I just mean it's been amazing. It's
is.
been
It's
super high
amazing.
energy. I love it. So anyway, and we are going to Napa. We are going to do
show.
that. We're going to see some things and do some stuff. So hopefully next time we get together, Paula will be sitting in with us.
Yes, I miss her.
Crazy little
Ugg.
crazy girl. Hopefully little miss will get her children right because they're so sick right now.
I'm hoping it's just... I hate it when you go to the doctor with your children and they tell you it's a virus. And
Oh,
then
it's so frustrating.
Well, and then a week later they're still sick. Oh, it's still a virus. It's like, give me some effing antibiotics.
Anything.
Okay? I don't care if it's a fucking virus. Let's try the antibiotics.
Yeah,
okay?
please.
Let's do that.
And then she went, and she's like, "Well, she has a raging sinus infection, and Ryan has bronchitis."
Was
and
that
so,
today?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they have hardcore meds now.
Yes.
So she's
So
like,
they'll finally get better.
"You know what? Because she said she goes, Jamie, I'm not really good at the whole catering to people thing."
I know.
And I said, "I know you're
None of
not."
us are.
Well, she's really into being catered to,
Oh, I
and so
know.
this has been very uncomfortable for her.
I see.
And she loves her children dearly.
Oh, I know.
But that doesn't matter. She's like, if I have to hear Olivia ask me for one more thing, I think I might die. And I said, she's like, Mom, can you play with me, Mom?
And see, the thing is like, and I just love her children so much.
Well,
I
we
feel
all
like-
do
Yeah.
so much. But the thing is that we're not dealing with
mother,
them.
yeah.
And we're not dealing with them every day, every minute of the hour where she's like,
Well,
I can't take
Here's
it
the thing.
anymore.
What Paula needs to realize is her children are her.
Yes, they are.
And this is what we deal with all the time.
Very much so.
So she is looking at byproduct of herself.
She is absolutely seeing herself in those dear little faces
And
that
they
we
are
love
the
so
cutest
much.
little shits ever. I love her.
I
kids.
love all of our. God, I love them all. And of
Oh, no,
course,
I do.
Mom's like, how many grandkids do I have now? 9. And I'm like, I honestly don't know. I'd have to like use both hands to count because I'm so bad at math. I have no
Me too.
idea. But yeah, so thank you, Ugg. Thank you, listeners, for
for
enduring
having me.
our chaotic, hilarious discussions. And thank you, producer Dub, for editing this
So
because,
sorry. I probably blew your eardrums at least twice.
well, we have volume control issues.
Well, he needs to like turn it down before he starts listening.
He's like, you were a bit overmodulated. And I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, that means your face was too close to the microphone. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. I'm sorry.
Well, it is what it is.
We get in arguments about it, and he can do whatever he wants with this stuff, but we get in arguments about it, and I said, it should not take you 6 hours. He goes, well, you know,
It wouldn't take me 6 hours if
yes.
you weren't talking into
he
the
goes,
microphone.
perhaps, you know, da-da-da. And I said, listen, I go, if you want to just, because he always says, well, I can always let it go raw, and you can see what you sound like. I said, go ahead. By all means, leave it all in.
I am totally confident that even raw, I am awesome and amazing.
I'm like, please punish me with it. By God, teach me a lesson, ass. Like, by all means. I'm like, what are you threatening me? I mean, but then he's like, no. And I said, really? He goes, well, you're saying I don't. I go, look, because he goes, have you listened to the show? And I said, you know what? It was a really arduous time recording that show. You know, something will happen. It'll be like a really long show because we only record like an hour of it, but there's an hour before and after sometimes.
right.
And so I'm like, you know, it took a lot for me to get through that show. So no, I didn't listen to it. He's like, I'm like, what? He goes,
you know what you said.
It's a lot of hard work. And I said,
So are you supposed to listen to
I
every
see. I
single
said, so you
episode?
want me to see your hard work. I see. All right. Well, I'll give you the star and I will tell you what a great job you're doing. Then we get into it, but it moved. It passes.
This too shall pass.
You know what?
It's what we do.
It is what it is. So anyway, okay. Thank you, listeners. Shop at Amazon and Avon through the Ugly Truth link, Ugly Truth, UGLEE truth.com. And we appreciate it. And we will see you next week. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to The Ugly Truth today. We hope you come back next week for an all-new episode of The Sisters with No Filters. And don't forget to follow the Uggs on Facebook and Twitter. You can get all the details on our website at uglytruth.com. That's UGLEE truth.com.